Now this is UML notation, and this is syntax, how an attribute is declared. So this is name of attribute. For example, the first attribute that we are giving is name. Okay, so name, and there is a visibility. Different visibilities are there, public, protected, etc., that we are going to see afterwards. And then attribute data type. For example, here we have data type string. Okay, so this is data type, and is equal to initial value, that is name of that person. For example, Mr. Raj. Okay, so Raj we are going to write here, and that Raj will be value of this attribute name for this object, first object. Okay, so this is one example, name string. Then this is another example, that is this is attribute, that is balance, and type of data, that is float. So float is data type for numerical value. Okay, and this numerical value can be having fraction also, fractional part also. So this is 0 0.0. Okay, for example 500.20, 500 rupees and 20 paise. So this is another example. Now this UML diagram, since we are not performing coding here, these diagrams are independent of the programming language. These diagrams we can use uh, in any other programming language also. If we are not uh, creating program using Java, then it can be used for other programming language also. And this, using this we can creating structure of the program, and that's using that structure, that program can be prepared in any programming language. And this format is universal, so that any programmer who is performing this programming can understand this. So this is universal format, UML. Here there are two people, person one, this is person two, and different values we are going to give to this attribute. For example, name attribute of person one, and name is Dr. Mitra, Dr. Meera, and the name of the second person is Professor Shyam. Then city attribute is having value Vadodara for person one and person two Ahmedabad. This is gender F for person one, M for person two. Now you can see that this F and M is written inside single quote. Okay, so when we are giving value which is having data type character, at that time we are writing that value in single quote. And when we are assigning value which is having data type string, at that time we are supposed to write it in double quotes. Then date of birth, that is birth date, uh, birth date of first person is this, second is this. Then profession, that profession attribute we are giving value as doctor, here it is professor, person 2. Okay, now we are going to discuss features of this Java or any other object oriented programming language. Okay, so first one is encapsulation. Encapsulation means to create a shield to protect something. Okay, so that is encapsulation. And for any program, okay, there are two important things, data and function. Okay, or we can call it core elements. And in terms of structure, procedural programming use, these two core elements are considered as separate. Data are separate and functions are separate. But in object oriented programming, we consider both these elements as single entity. Okay, they are bind together, data and functions. Okay, and this data and the functions that can use this data are encapsulated. Okay, so the data which is there in a particular uh, encapsulation method can be accessed by the functions that are associated with that data only. Outside functions cannot access this data. Okay, so this is called encapsulation and it gives security to data. Okay, so in procedural programming, data can be altered by any component of the program. It is not protected from modification. But in object-oriented programming, since we are using encapsulation, the data and functions are considered as single entity. They are protected together. Okay, and data and the methods that manipulate data are guarded against modification or misuse by other components of the program. This mechanism of providing protection of data and methods of a program is called encapsulation. And here what we are doing for encapsulation, we are creating a class. Okay, a class. And inside this class, we are creating data, that is object and its properties or attributes. And methods are what can be done on that data. For example, here again we are moving back to understand this encapsulation process. Okay, these are methods. Okay, and this is data. So this data can be accessed or modified by this process only. Okay, which are defined in this person class. Okay, so only three methods are defined here. Set birth date, we can give birthday, we can assign birth date to that person, we can change city of that person, and we can take output of this data. Okay, these three methods are there. So if there is another class, okay, for example class X is there, and inside that, for example, we have created one function that is to add different numbers. Now this, in this class, the function is defined cannot access this data of person class. Okay, so this is called encapsulation of data and methods, okay, or functions that can access that data. And if we want to protect that data from outside functions, at that time the class that we are creating, we have to declare it as private. Okay, private. So private member of the class are not available directly to outside world. Okay, so whatever objects, okay, are created inside that class cannot be modified or accessed by other class methods. Okay, so we can set privacy of that class to protect that methods and data. If necessary, the data is made available via public method. Okay, if according to this, encapsulation is what that is having data hiding capability. It is hiding data from outside world. Okay, outside that class. And there is one thing, only the object that owns the data, okay, can change its content. So object here is what, person 1, person 2, like this, that. Okay, so that object person 1 is owner of its own data, person 2 is owner of its own data. Other objects, okay, for example person 1 is other object for person 2. Okay, and vice versa, person 2 is other object for person 1. So they can view or change others data by sending message to the owner. Okay, so messaging concept is there. After sending message only, or and getting permission only, uh, they can modify or change that data. Now the today's last concept that we are going to see is data abstraction. Okay, data abstraction is get something out. Okay, so it is, data abstraction is process of representing the essential feature of the object without including implementation detail. For example, if we drive two-wheeler or four-wheeler, so we need to know only how to drive it. Okay, and it is not necessary to know its functionality, how it is working, what is inside its engine, okay, how that engine works, like that. So only thing that we need to know is how to drive that, and what different controls we need to learn for learning driving. So that is data abstraction, wherein only essential features of the objects are required and without including implementation detail. Okay, so only some part is accessed. okay, instead of everything. So that is abstraction. So abstraction is a concept that hides the complexity, okay, like what it does, okay, but not how it is done. Okay, so internal whatever is there, uh, the complexity that is hidden, and what is does only that is displayed. So here one example of television set is there. We know how to turn it on, how to change different channel, how to increase or decrease volume like that. So we are not bothered about what is inside that when it is not working properly, how to repair that. That is not things that we should know to use that television set. So only essential features we are knowing and we are using that. So that is same as data abstraction concept of object oriented programming. So data abstraction is the technique that relies on the separation of interface and implementation. Now, for example, if we use two functions like sqrt and printf, so whenever there are parentheses, that is a function. Okay, so sqrt n in bracket 25, when we use it gives us result as 5. That is square root of 25 is 5. So we are getting result, and we should know only how to use this function, but how to create this function, that is not our area of concern. So it is inbuilt function and we are using that. Okay, how it is performed, that is hidden. So that is data abstraction concept. Same way printf hello world. So if we use this in C, printf hello world, at that time in output we are getting this part only, hello world printed in screen. But how it is transferred to output screen, that is internal part. Okay, that is implementation, and it is hidden, it is not known to user.